my needle drops. Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd, doing an album review. Holy fucks, Latin. Now look, before I get too deep into this video, I know that usually I will edit myself or put in a little if I swear, but for the sake of my sanity, I'm not going to put in a bleep every single time I say Holy Fuck, because that's the band's name. Holy Fuck is a Canadian band who I fell in love with back in 2007, just like a lot of people did, with the release of their LP. And what made this album so appealing to me at the time, what makes it appealing to me today, is its unbreakable grooves, its linear dancey structure, its experimental electronics, its improvisation. I wouldn't change a thing about this album. I mean, it's like sugar. It hits the tongue, it's immediately good, and it's a shock to the system. So of course, since then I've been awaiting a follow-up, and now we have it. 9 tracks, 38 minutes, and a noticeable change since their last album. Even if you don't like Latin, you can certainly not accuse Holy Fuck of making the same album twice. The most noticeable change on this album is a real step up in production. No more lo-fi or live sounds that we may have heard on Holy Fuck's previous efforts. Here the band really tries to develop their studio sound with more effects, more clarity, and a lot more studio sheen. In that sense, Latin is a really mature album, and it's noticeable right from the beginning, with the intro track, with the really huge reverby synthesizers that sound very, very Vangelis, very huge, epic, ambitious. And of course after that you have the band's usual combination of grooves and electronics, really crisp drums, drum machines, these very spectral synthesized sounds, and a lot of those vocal yelps that you may have heard on LP. Though Holy Fuck doesn't really have any lyrics, they do have some vocals from time to time, whether it be ooh or like ow, ow, ooh, and you just sort of like hear it reverberating across the mix. There's definitely no shortage of sonic texture among these songs. And there's a pretty decent mix on a lot of these tracks too, not really sounding all that flat or one-dimensional, pretty panoramic at times. And there's a lot of variety on this LP too. I already mentioned that epic opening, then there's the track Stay Lit, which is one of the slowest, but I think is one of the most captivating too, simply because of its synth melody. The track's kind of cashes in on the krautrock influences that I always knew Holy Fuck had, but I just heard very faintly in the background, wasn't really able to confirm them. And then you have some really faster, more aggressive moments like stilettos too. And I have to be completely honest, and there may be some debate about this in the near future, but I don't really think this album dethrones LP. A lot of you may remember that track review I did of the song Latin America off this album, and though it's not a bad song, my one gripe with it is that I felt a lot less interplay between the band members on that track. I felt a lot less subtlety and a lot less dynamics, which is what drew me to this band in the first place. A lot of the instruments on this LP sound like they're conforming to a set song structure, if not recorded individually, as opposed to having the band record these songs together all at once. Whereas if you listen to LP even multiple times, it sounds like those tracks could just break off in a different direction at any moment. There's a lot of interplay, there's a lot of interaction between each musician, a lot of snap decision making. I really find this album to have the same subtlety as any jazz quartet out there. I don't think Latin is going to send people flying by the seat of their pants like LP did when that album first dropped, to be honest, but still. Latin is a very fun, colorful album with a lot of dancey qualities and great electronics. It's really catchy, you're going to get it in the first listen, but I think there's always a reason to listen to this thing again. Though Latin didn't amaze me, Holy Fuck is still keeping things interesting, and they're most definitely evolving, which I like a lot. I'm feeling a decent 7 on this thing, and look for a link down there where you can hear some of Holy Fuck's music, of course. And also, if you've heard this LP or if you enjoy Holy Fuck's music, let me know. Do you love this album? Do you hate this album? And why? Is it better than LP? Worse than LP? Do you find what Holy Fuck is doing on Latin to be interesting? And I also want to thank you guys for bringing me past 4,000 subscribers this past weekend. Woo! and you're awesome. Holy fuck, Latin, forever.